Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome to another video for EVE Online. Today's video is going to be a little bit shorter than usual because the topic doesn't have that much to say, but I think it is a vital one to cover. Essentially, we're going to be talking about neural remapping, how to skill your skills, how to train your skills that little bit faster and shave off precious weeks in some situations of training time. I was showcasing this in a little mini stream the other day that I did for Cat Skull, and someone said, have you done a video on this? And I said, oh no, actually I haven't, and that's a really good idea. So that's what we're doing today, talking about how to speed up your skill queue through neural remapping. Anyway folks, if you do enjoy this video or find it useful, drop a like, drop a comment. If you want to go the extra mile to help support this channel, then you can subscribe, you can head to my PayPal tip jar, my Patreon page where you can pledge to support, and my Redbubble merchandise store as well if you fancy grabbing some swag. Otherwise, if you are a brand new player who has just joined EVE Online and looking for information like this, first of all, welcome to the channel, subscribe for more videos like this, then head down to my description, use my referral code to get yourself 1 million free skill points. That's the easiest way to speed up your skill training. Otherwise though, let's talk about neural remapping. So first things first, we're going to open up the skill page. So we've got our training queue visible here. Then we're going to open up our character sheet. Opening up the character sheet, then coming to character and then across to attributes. Here's what we can talk about. Each character has 5 attributes: perception, memory, willpower, intelligence, and charisma. And depending on what number you have here is going to help you train up skills faster. But how do you know which one of these corresponds to which skill? Well, easy. You right click on the skill and you go to show info. So here you can see guided missile precision is perception and willpower. If I come further down the list, Caldari Battlecruiser 5 is perception and willpower. Come a little bit further around, let's have a look at bomb deployment. That is perception and willpower, right? So the way I had things set up was that I knew that I needed intelligence and memory, because most of the scanning skills that I was using for running covert ops ships and going hacking, etc., were intelligence and memory. And those, therefore, by remapping to go into intelligence and memory, it's given me nice low training times on some of these skills. It's worth noting that if we go into augmentations, you can also get certain implants that were going to help you with this, like the ocular filter standard, that increases my perception by 3, the neural boost standard increases my memory by 3, I think, willpower modifier by 4, sorry, by 4. These require the cybernetics skill. You can get them in the loyalty point store for different factions, or you can buy them on the market. And you don't necessarily have to go for ocular filter standard or neural boost standard. You can go for whichever ones you can afford. They will help you skill up a little bit faster. I've gone for the standard because I have the skills to use them. They're not too expensive, and giving you additional 4 points in those skills is really nice. But I'm sitting here looking at this going, right, okay, so I've got the additional willpower there, and I've got the additional perception. And why, of course, have I gone for those two? Because I've been training missile skills. And missile skills require perception and willpower. Primary attribute, perception, secondary attribute, willpower. So I've been putting implants in to try and help with this, but I can also now do a remap because I've got a bonus remap available. So knowing that it is perception as my number 1, let me just double check that. Primary attribute, perception, secondary attribute, willpower. Let's watch what happens to these as we remap. So I'm going to open remap, and it brings up this little window here. I'm going to drain everything out of what it's currently in. Perception was the top stat, the primary stat for all of these skills, so I'm going to put those in there. You'll see I've got the implant bonuses mentioned here as well. I don't have implants for the others, possibly should do, but right now I'm focused on training things that require perception and willpower. So we're just going to once again double check, because if you don't have bonuses, bonus remaps, it's 12 months before you can remap again, and that's a problem, so you don't do this lightly. You need to look at this and figure out exactly which skills you want, then remap accordingly. So final check, perception and willpower, primary attribute perception, secondary attribute willpower, and I know that all of these fitting and missile skills use those. Perception all the way up, willpower all the way up, with the implants as well. Let's watch these numbers down the side here as I hit save changes. So we've got 17 days and 23 days for an example. If I change, oh, would you look at that, already 12 days, 11 hours. Warhead upgrades, that should have come down a bit. Perception and willpower might require me just to drop the skill menu and reopen it. See if that changes it. There we go. Yeah, Warhead upgrades is now 16 days. 13 days for missile projection. You can see how that has massively changed. The flip side of that is that the Cloaking 5 skill that I was going to be training into, not so important right now. It's gone up to 34 days. It's going to take a lot longer for me to skill into that one, so I can now actually drop it down the list and look at other things. Because I was looking at large autocannon specialization and things like that for running my Varga, for example, let's have a look and just, would you look at that? Their perception and willpower as well. So even that's a shorter training time than it would have been beforehand. I have massively decreased my skill queue there. That's really, really nice. And it's that simple. It is something you need to be very careful about. Like, there's no two ways about it. Don't do this just light-hearted. But if you look down your skills and you can clearly see that there is a couple of attributes that are cropping up left, right, and center, then you can remap your brain, basically, to train those skills faster. And then having done that, you can head across to the market or the loyalty point store and start looking for implants there to put into your brain in order to get those additional stats. That's how I'm getting the higher numbers, like the 31 here. It's 27 plus the 4 from the implant. That's how you get those. Great way to start training up a little bit easier. Just be careful when you do it because it is a 12-month cooldown on the standard remap, and bonus remaps are sort of, they're not common for sure. Anyway, folks, that's everything you need to know about rewiring your brain in EVE Online. Hopefully that will help you shorten your skill queues and get into things that you want to get into just that little bit faster. If you found this useful, if you learned something new, you owe me a like. Maybe drop a comment to say thank you, or, just tell me what you're remapping into, because I want to hear about it. I want to hear how you guys are all getting on. Let me know what you're skilling into at the moment, what you therefore need to remap into, and how you're having fun with that. Otherwise, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.